Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening wherever you are in your corner of the world. Founder of XRPayiNet is somewhat confused by Ripple CTO's words about Ripple shutting the door behind it. I think that actually concerned a handful of people, so I'm going to go right into Yasin's tweet where he says, this tweet is from Agile Cats. It's kind of worrying me a bit. Who goes through the door? ? And who is shut out? ? Number one, Ripple goes through the door and retail XRP holders are shut out. Or number two, Ripple and XRP go through the door and the rest of the crypto space is shut out. And that's in regard to, let's just click on it and go right into it for a minute. I was going to be brief on that, but I think, this is, especially since today, if you're on Twitter, you've seen, and we've even shared it if you just go to our page. You don't even have to search for David if you're not, but David had posted today and his background had changed, so I think that's got a lot of people concerned. So I think Yasin has a great comment here, actually, because let's scroll up in the discussion here where, let's see, we probably don't need to go on to all of that, but the discussion here is where David Schwartz, you don't need to know the details. You can just hear this and everything else kind of falls into place. Where he states, replying to people, the thing is we can't succeed if the industry doesn't succeed. A world where, say, Twitter is the only successful internet company is unimaginable. I expect we will always prefer wins for everyone in space if we can. And then that's when Jaffer King states, thanks for the response, wasn't looking to paint Ripple as an unfeeling evil corporate overlord. Only that the priority is Ripple first, and hopefully everyone else's. The cost is right. And that's where David responds, and Yasin is concerned, where he says, yeah, I think that's fair to say. I hope we don't get into a position where we're tempted to walk through a door and slam it shut behind us. But of course, I can't promise we won't. Now, if you hold that thought for a moment, let's see if it's still there. Let's just click on David instead of, get straight to the point. Once this pulls up, where you can see he's showing Ripple when a scrappy financial startup takes on a web of corruption and betrayal to bring instant payments to the masses. They learn that the cost of disrupting the status quo is higher than they could ever have imagined, forcing them to decide between their vision and their survival. And then, I shared this on our Twitter page, and that's where Dave responded as well. But he doesn't answer the thought I'm just pointing out. There's so much going on there. It's like really need to understand where the words are defined. Nothing is straightforward, and this is crypto. Crypto is cryptographic. Having said that, when a scrappy financial startup takes on the web of corruption, I would say their scrappy financial startup is probably Ripple. Takes on a web of corruption and betrayal. Now, here's the thing, assumptions are what get everyone into trouble. There's an old Benny Hill thing. Assume. He circles the first three letters. He circles the next letter, and then he circles the final two separately. And that's what assuming does. So having said that, the web of corruption, here's the discussion that's going around. Is the web of corruption and betrayal from, for example, SEC and the regulators, or is that him saying that Ripple is taking on a web of corruption betrayal to bring instant payments to the masses? They learned that the cost of disrupting the status quo is higher than they could have ever imagined, forcing them to decide between their vision and their survival. Now, when you come in to decide between their vision and their survival, what they're saying is, or what the discussion is their vision, trying to decide between their vision of helping and, change the cross-border systems, or meaning their vision is that to help everyone involved, meaning retail investors and other crypto companies and other crypto assets, etc. Because as the old statement goes, a rising tide lifts all ships. But having said that, the choice to decide between their vision and their survival, when I think of their survival, it comes up to the point of, do we settle And if we settle, then retail investors are on their own. All other crypto companies and assets are on their own. So now there's so much going on. It would be good if it was clarified on exactly what he means by that, because that kind of, put a lot of concern in a lot of investors' minds at this point, and I have no answers. Again, guys, I try to, without clarity, I try to avoid those conversations because it can totally mean something that we're not even thinking. And that may mean nothing to David. It might just be a warning. It might just be like a forethought. Not even sure. But either which way, it has caused a lot of concern today with a lot of investors. And I've heard it on this end. And, guys, sorry that I don't have any answers for that. I would say turn your questions directly to David Schwartz for that one, as he may, feel a little, what am I going to say? Like having a discussion on that. Into the next thing, Ripple SEC Chair Gensler hides dirty secrets. Crypto law unveils them. And I want to scroll right down in this too, because there's a conversation with Eleanor Tourette from Fox News and Crypto Law, the firm. So Eleanor posted the September edition of Gary Gensler's public calendar has been added to the SEC website. Highlights include 4 calls with CFTC chairman and 2 calls with the former SEC General Counsel John Coates, plus meetings with Vanguard, USAMB China, and BlackRock. And Crypto Law makes a comment in regards to that, stating it's important to note that at Vanguard Group manages Gensler's personal fortune of $100 million USD, and he has given them excessive access to his office since he became the SEC chair. So now Ripple versus SEC crypto lawyer predicts settlement and appeal direction. And that's where Deaton expressed his confidence that Ripple will prevail. And I'm just going to go right into the article. DAI, Digital Asset Investor, shout out to you, my friend. Hello or hey at John Deaton. Is it possible for there to be an SEC versus Ripple partial settlement and partial appeal, which could end up in the Supreme Court? Is his question to John. So attorney John Deaton replies back, in my opinion, Ripple would pay 100 to 250 million USD in a settlement if capital IF, the SEC, agreed publicly that current and future sales of XRP are not securities. The SEC is not going to agree to the middle of its war versus crypto. Judge Torres could provide clarity on secondary sales, which isn't appealed. And again, that's something that Deaton believes they would be willing to pay as much as 100 to 250 million USD in a settlement, as long as SEC agrees that current and future sales of XRP are not securities. And Brad has been very, very clear with that from day one. Also, to end up in final discussion of this video, XRPayNet now has a new card design, and we couldn't be more thrilled! Exclamation point. Also, to the new card, I mean, it's very clean, very professional. All of your, basically your card numbers are hidden on the back, a little bit more safe. You have your, your crypto to fiat capability, the buy now, pay later capability as well with the XRPayNet card. And again, this is very exciting, as I've been a huge fan before I was ever the brand ambassador. Very excited to work directly with the team at XRPayNet, and they are top notch. Believe me, it's very exciting. A lot of big plans coming down the line, and I think step by step, I'd rather pull it out and have everything be correct than to pull it out quickly and have many adjustments. So I'm very excited with that. And guys, remember, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. But as always, before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought. One day you will tell your story of how you've overcome what you're going through now, and it will become part of someone else's survival guide. Much love, and we will catch you in the next one.